Chewa piatani opu, Kawushkin shawopu, Kawushkin shawopu, Chewa piatani opu, Kawushkin shawopu, Kawushkin shawopu, Menomehi opu koya, Menomehi opu koya. The light is going away, my heart is aching, my heart is breaking. The light is going away, my heart is aching, my heart is breaking. But the birds, they're still singing, but the birds, they're still singing. Chewo piatani opu, Kawushkin shawopu, Kawushkin shawopu, Chewo piatani opu, Kawushkin shawopu, Kawushkin shawopu, Menomehi opu koya, Menomehi opu koya. Ho, 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 ho.
Why Hummingbird Has a Red Throat. At the beginning, when the first people lived on the top of the great canopy of the sky had 4 holes in it, one in the east, another in the south, one in the west, and another in the north. The sky holes opened and closed rapidly all the time. The first people used their magic to come down through the holes and to change themselves into all the creatures, plants, and things of the world. So when earth people were created, they had oak trees and flat stones on which to grind their acorns. They had reeds for houses and baskets. They learned from the sun how to shoot arrows like rays. They learned to live together like minnows swim and mice nest. But Chaka, the marsh wren, was an orphan boy. No one liked him. The people gave Chaka food. Sometimes the people even gave him a crayfish to eat. But they always made Chaka feel like an outsider. So Chaka stayed under cover of bulrush and sedgegrass, only appearing at dawn and dusk to ask again for more. Chaka grew more ashamed, and the people grew stingier. "Get your own food, Chaka," they said. "We work hard, why don't you?" "It's not our job to feed you, even if you are just a kid." Marsh Wren's eyes filled with tears of anger. The white stripes over his eyebrows quivered. "If you don't feed me," he yelled, "I will shoot out the sun." Everyone laughed. "Yeah, right, Chaka. Go right ahead." "I will," rattled Marsh Wren. "Do it," said the people, clearly not believing him. They turned away. Marsh Wren did shoot out the sun with an arrow as sharp as his beak. As though it had been a bladder filled with light, the sun popped and all the light disappeared. The whole world became dark. No sun, no moon, no stars, no fire. Everything was dark. The dark seemed to last for years. No one could find food because no one could see. Everyone was starving. All this time, Oye, the coyote man, was thinking about how he could get the sun and the light back again. At length, he saw something way up in the eastern sky through the hole that opened and closed as fast as woodpecker tapped on a dead tree trunk. "I think I see light," said Oye to himself. He squinted his eyes. Now there was no doubt. "Yes," he exulted. But a moment later, Oye's tail drooped. "Now how am I going to go all the way up there to get that light?" he asked himself. Glumly, Oye began to pick his way through a tangle of old blackberry vines that led to his tiny stash of acorn mush. "Ouch! Ooh, ouch!" he yelped as the thorns scratched at his nose and his soft foot pads. Oye remembered the good old days when this path had been blanketed with wet, curling ferns. The sun's beautiful light had slanted through the limbs of the gnarled live oaks, now too hidden by the dark. "Oh, rots!" muttered Oye. "Rots and sots." "Rots yourself," answered a high-pitched voice, followed by a "Huh? What? Who's there?" said Coyote Man. He heard another sound and said, "Oh, hey, Hummingbird. How's it going, Kulupe?" Coyote Man was glad to have someone to talk to.
Same old thing, Coyote Man. Same old thing. You know that,
said Hummingbird.
If we just had some light.
Yeah, Oyez agreed automatically. Then near his eyes he felt the tiny wind stirred by Kulupe's wings. Suddenly he could picture his cinnamon, purple, and green-colored little friend, wings vibrating like twin halos. He remembered Kulupe darting through the air faster than a fish flits through shallow water. Hey, Hummingbird, I've got this great idea. Kulupe, sputtered Oyez, guess what I just saw? Just now. Light, Kulupe, light! I saw light way up high in the sky, way too high for me to get. But you, Hummingbird, you could get it in a second.
You saw light, Coyote Man?
The little voice was incredulous.
Where?
Up high, Hummingbird. Really, go look. I know you can bring it back for us. The tiny wind of Kulupe's wings stopped for a moment. Oyez could imagine his friend hesitating. Then he heard a reassuring and he knew Hummingbird was splitting into black air in a steep climb to the top of the sky.
It would be crazy not to try,
shouted Kulupe, but he was already too far away for Coyote Man to hear. Up, up, up rushed Kulupe until he too could see the dab of light blinking inside the mouth of the hole in the eastern sky. Nearer and nearer he sped until, heart beating wildly with his own daring, he shot through the hole and tore off a piece of the blazing orange light on the other side.
I got it,
yelled Kulupe. He tucked the fire under his chin and hung for a moment in the air, luxuriating in the heat. But suddenly the sound of giant wings flapping filled the space around him. In a burst of fear, without even looking to see what or who might be following him, he raced back toward the hole in the sky. Through it he flung the fire, and then he swooped after it. All around him, the air turned pink and blue. The fire he'd carried swelled round as a puffball and sent arrows of light down to earth below. People gathered on the shores of the bay, cheering, and Coyote Man whooped and howled. Even Chaka, the marsh wren, muttered with pleasure. He said. Kulupe, now glitteringly graceful in the light of a new sun, sped toward his nest. His feathers shone as they had in the old days, metallic bronze green, jewel-like purple, and rich golden cinnamon. But when Kulupe modestly lifted his head to acknowledge the happiness of everyone below, the feathers on his throat against which he had carried the light were tinged a new brilliant scarlet, the color of sunfire. And so Hummingbird is marked to this very day.
Chewa piatani opu, kawushkin shawopu, kawushkin shawopu. Chewa piatani opu, kawushkin shawopu, kawushkin shawopu.